Spart has entered the building.
That's exactly right. I was going to talk about Spart next, and well, we'll see plenty of him, I'm sure, as we jump on in. Toronto going to take it on the Boston Breach. Scar Hardpoint, let's get it on. And Spart, go figure, the first one to open us up. CleanX, who has been unbelievable since swapping back over to the SMG, he will obviously likely be running an AR for the majority of this map, so we'll see how he performs and handles the pressure for Boston.
Yeah, so far Boston are able to handle the mid-map pressure, because Koi not spawning on the preferred side for early P1 are going to try to flip it so they can control blue, but Boston are going trade for trade, blow for blow. Now it's the pressure around the backside of White Wall. Snoopy's able to pick it on up. So both teams are battling for the map control. Only 10 seconds have been secured in the first 30.
Yeah, that is a very scrappy P1, but Toronto come away with a full wipe at the end of this hard point. So now you've got Boston trapped at blue. A nice nade from Purge allows Snoopy to track open some space over through mid shops. He's being held. Joe Deceives able to stop one more from stretching into P2. So Toronto, for the moment, will be the closest to the hill, but are still dealing with some scattered spawns thanks to the exit from Boston. We're going to get a pretty easy contest, or at least a pretty quick contest from Boston here.
Man, Boston have pitches on every single angle, just not winning the fights when they need to. They're going 2 for 2, but it's Insight able to locate both players over towards green. So this side of the map is locked down for Koi. All of Boston spawning over towards that blue side. Stuns and nades needs to try to connect because Koi have every power position.
Yes, they do. Snoopy will get one inside the hard point. That will open things up. Kip shut down to the pinch means it's just down to the long-standing duo of CleanX and Insight. CleanX firing, shooting, trying to hold on to any sort of footing on this hill, and Joe Deceives pops up, has an AR in hand, takes down 2. Pinch on the way around the backside though from Snoop. Kip's in some trouble, but as Joe is able to confirm a trade, one more battle will still be there. A little bit of an unfortunate timing on what was, I'm sure, a mistake melee. Allows Boston in for some scrap time, but it's really only about 10 seconds worth of it.
Yeah, you're more than willing to take that if you are Koi, because you trapped him over towards the ending of that P2. You gifted yourself the rotation over towards the money hill at P3. Know how difficult it is to take players off of this plane. Heady, nades, and stuns connecting. You find both players, at least one guy over towards blue side. But what does it do to the spawns now for Boston? You're just making sure you're clearing out your mid cut. Now all of your focus towards blue.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate timing there for Boston, as Nasty looked like he was going to open up the hard point, but CleanX, Insight both respond to the player in the back and then keep their focus forward with the quick spawns through P5 for Toronto. 30-point game at the moment, which, well, let's be candid, a lot of this time has gone to the game clock already. We've gotten a lot of contest and a lot of neutral time. Boston finally able to get into the hill with about 28 seconds remaining, and it looks like Toronto are just going to give this a soft test while working mostly on rotation.
Yeah, and this was the opportunity yesterday that Boston presented themselves versus Cloud9, and they were able to take advantage of it every single time. Plus 66 over towards the P4 setups, and they're looking for a lockdown setup here to potentially take the lead. But Koi, with all the space that they had and the remaining time that they had, they're already right in your face.
Yes, they are. Hardpoint opens. It's neutral for now, but the kills for Toronto allow them to step in for a moment. Insight trying to find this last player of Purge who has slipped in and out of the staircases. And that will allow some breathing room for Boston to actually quickly reinforce from the front. Gun up for Insight. Doesn't get a lot of the first. It gets some with the second, but no kills come through. And Boston will have a really quick re-break and a little bit of extra bump out of the hill as CleanX will drop over towards Motel.
Yeah, all 4 dead. Back spawn secured. You push out towards P2 as well. So now all of Koi had to try to break from White Wall side. You have Nasty trying to cover down the back lines, but he does get ripped. Team shots galore there from Koi. 3 go down in the feed. Smart last man standing. He's going to get cleared on out. And now look what it does to the spawns for Boston. 3 players towards the backside of O, but Purge, only guy off the rotation towards New, needs to value his life here.
Yeah, same can be said, though, for CleanX. He's got a little bit of help from Kips on putting pressure on the map. Toronto will spawn here, and CleanX will pop up.
Hello.
And you'll find Purge stuck in a corner. So it'll be about a 20-point game, but, and it is a big but, Toronto is all in firm control of P5. They've got positions all around the map to really test this Boston break after.
Oh, but they do find the first player in Joe Deceives on the OE. Trying to apply pressure to the back to potentially spawn them all the way across the map, but you keep on going trade for trade. Now all of Boston trying to break from the front side of plane. Already have top green control. Snoopy gets a little bit too aggressive in that moment, so Toronto in another position to still try to hold.
Yeah, I mean, that's a setup that largely gets foiled in the first effort, thanks to Boston winning a couple of 1v1s, but the space away from the hill allowed Toronto to still spawn close in on their second attempt to rejuvenate the life inside the hill. Toronto is successful, so back to plus 30 over for the Koi. Boston looking for one last potential contest with 15 seconds of scrap time still remaining, and a Nasty will get you two in some trouble trying to stay alive, but found by Insight. So again, these little battles on the end of the hill, not really super influential, but it does allow Boston a chance to keep the pressure on and keep Toronto away from P1.
Yeah, now going into our second set. Boston looking for a fantastic hold here at the P1, but when you're getting aggressive up through green, I don't know if you're going to read this spawn coming in from Joe. He's going to win one one-on-one gunfight. Dude, Snoopy's thinking it's all going to be cleared on out. Thankfully, you're able to instantly find that trade, but Joe, all it took was one kill to cause chaos, and now Koi on top.
Oh, nice shots out of Spark. Kleenex had him what looked to be dead to rights. Spark pushes him back, but Joe, like you mentioned, the long route does eventually pay out over towards the hill. Still, though, tight game, back and forth. A little tug of war over the top of P1 at the moment. And it's really just both these two teams fighting for map control right now, maybe more so than the objective. As, again, more hardpoint time just goes to the game clock with 18 left to fight in P2 on everyone's minds.
Yeah, Purge is just playing his life over towards half-wall. He's just waiting for some player on the side of Koi to think about the objective, and as soon as they do, you take care of him. Now you're trying to maintain blue side, but he gets taken down. So now you're going to be late off the rotation over towards P2. Let's see how Boston set up this break with a listening.
Dead. I'm on shot. I'm name time and I'm gonna charge Chris and win. One shot. Yeah, good thing. I'm on shot too. Go left side. He's in high. One shot. Top green. Maybe will bang me hot. Here. There's two hot. One's red hot. One's green. You guys mid low SWAT. He's in shot. So SWAT going to miss. They SWAT. Here now. SWAT. Nico's got SWAT. Be front. Be shot. I'm shooting time. Go there, he's in front of you guys, nice. I got naded, bro. I still on top, no trophy. I have a trophy here. Sorry, guys. Top, Joe. On the C-box, on the C-box. Hey, you're trying to me.
Stunning it.
Why trying to C-box?
Top again, clean.
Make sure you rotate. Have a spawn. We be cutting you. There you go. Don't talk green. You might just play around the back. Shop, front shop, Joe. Playing weak. I'm nading play.
Anyone here? One
Shop, I'm trying this guy. Chad's coming.
I'm on the plane.
I'm playing for the outfield. I'm playing for the outfield.
Name boat.
I'll hold you cut then. Hey, wants to follow me? You're on a second, bro. I'm trying to go top. He's SWAT, right?
I can't talk for a second. You guys have to be cart, no?
I don't see SWAT.
Short Nick.
I have mid.
Try name me. Chop me two. One shot. Wide left and one's on the going short to close right. One wide left. Wide left.
I'm one shot. Wide left. Playing dead. One time. Yep. Try anytime.
Right, guys.
Yeah, go play. Go right with him. Yeah, I'm anytime first. Anytime.
SnD Kleenex, 1 HP, SnD Kleenex.
I can play SnD dead, another good. Shit. He's away from me. Shot, Jamie. I can't hear that guy. Fuck. On the plane. On the plane.
Well, Boston really struggling to find some footing around some of these key hard points, find themselves now down about 100 points after what was a back and forth affair of about 30 points worth of differential. So really, Jay, I mean, we just need to see something in conviction right now for Boston as they are still looking to try to push through this time to P4.
Yeah, it's just been one hell of a turnaround as soon as we go into that listening, because we were trying to set up a Boston Breach break at the P2, and they don't get any time off of that HP. And then when you cut your losses, rotate early to P3, on the first attempt, Koi able to break you down and then trap you towards the backside of green. So you blink, you're up by 100, all of Boston Breach all the way across the damn map, and they have everything cut off.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like, I think that first rotation, it was a lot of both teams trying to vie for position and trying to win the map control game. And then you start to get a little bit panicky if you're Boston. I think especially going into that P2, like you mentioned, just because we don't have the rotation. Now all of a sudden the clock is starting to work against us because the score is getting out of hand. You start to make panic plays. And Toronto are ripping apart Boston at the seams at the moment. Blocking the back for insight. Boston trying to survive inside the hill. But again, the lead just continues to grow little by little for Toronto.
Yeah, all you need is just one couple of mistakes or one set of kills, and you could keep on chipping away at this score. 15 seconds remaining at the P4.
Big win.
Battle off the rotation. Joe's going to start off with the first engagement. Kips already finds number 2. And that's going to be Insight taking care of the last guy. So every single player from Boston Breach are all at the old time. Again, Koi uncontested off the rotation to P5.
Yeah, the snowball effect of this hard point is definitely in play right now. And that last set of gunfights right there across the middle of the map trying to rotate from Boston's perspective will pretty much seal it, you would think. Insight caught in the corner, backside red. Nade just trying to give him some time and space, and he nearly doubles up. Purge is able to find the trade, but he's low, or maybe he can get the regen off and return back to the hard point, and that's going to work out. Okay, so Boston will get a break around the back, move the spawns with that, but still, it has to be perfect Call of Duty from this point forward.
Yeah, and there's still 30 seconds to play with, so you are Koi. Let's continue to invest our stuns and nades in the bodies. Try to potentially end the game here. Insight finds the first. Joe finds kill number 2. Last 2 guys sitting towards top green. You turn it into a one-on-one gunfight, but you're more than willing to continue to fight on this side of the map because all of them map is Koi's.
Yeah, and CleanX is trying to get it done here. Won't be able to win that last gunfight, but yes, take a look at the minimap. Toronto in position to watch the exit from 5 over to 1. Nice nade from Snoopy, clears out the P3 heady. That's actually a pretty critical elimination if Boston were to get back to the hill quickly, but the second set of gunfights all turn up in favor of Toronto. Purge working on a long route, trying to play the long game. That will not work, and Joe shakes his head at him like, nope, I don't think so. They're vibing.
Those guys are cruising, sitting at 7-0. Obviously, the next matchup that we're going to have here. But back into the map number 2, where Koi looking to make up for the mistakes that they had yesterday on raid. So it's gonna be Boston on the attack, stuns and nades over the top at Laundry. They find the first one on to Joe.
Yeah, aggressive defensive stature here in front at A. Mostly from not only playing at ring, but also CleanX opting to stay inside money window to try to get a trade. Not gonna happen. And for what it's worth, friends, as we were talking about it, if you're locked in, this was the exact same setup that Boston was running when they were playing up against FaZe. 3-1 split. Purge with an SMG is going to step up aggressively towards Kitchen on the contest, and the bomb will move back and get planted to Snoopy once more. A little bit of a no-no move. Pushed out of Laundry, gave away his life, and we have a 3v2.
Now you just got to keep the numbers on your side. Someone throw a shoulder, gain some info, so you can tell Purge to start working on that pinch, because Spark's going to have action right in front of him. Wins the first one-on-one. Now it's a 1v3. You instantly get the trade, but all the info gained.
Yeah, there's not much that Insight can do here besides play from the front. Nasty shots are...
And when you get the first kill, you take a lot of space away through mid. And just consistently are giving your team information. Boston opened up with the opening attack, and now Koi looking for a response. Aggressive as hell through the middle of the map.
Yeah, that's CleanX running through Art and Pillars to get to this position, so... a very aggressive setup. Perfectly cooked nade from Insight does tag the flak jacket of Purge. Now Toronto need to make a decision on what they want to do here with that info. Joe, holding on to the bomb, is stuck a little bit at mid-map. The rest of Toronto are trying to lean back over to A, so he was caught isolated, and that's another one of those strong defensive changes for Boston. Just re-wrapping and hitting with numbers through mid, but a trade comes out 3v3.
Yeah, but it's still the bomb carrier, so you have the information. The bomb is going to be down, but now there's so many different angles.
From Boston when they're playing up against FaZe. And I like the idea of it. It's one of those like, okay, if we know we're seeing 2 nades to money window, or putting me up to Laundry window, then we can just re-wrap back through Kitchen and play a possible, at worst, 4v2 at mid. But look at this. Pause that thought as Toronto are trying to get aggressive. We'll double chow through Zig. No immediate contact, and they will have to back away. You would have to assume, though, CleanX and Joe both hitting that route are both running SMGs, so Toronto are going to have to stay aggressive on this adjustment.
But the mind games right now is working in favor of Boston. Because you spot them by throwing that shoulder through mid-zig, you're thinking the rotation is going to be over towards A, so you use all your forces to go back towards Laundry. And the one guy that peeks through Kitchen, he gets picked off, and now bomb is planted at B.
Yeah. So now you got to try to find a way to retake with the SMGs. So basketball stack is currently underway. Purge taking a couple tags at Tiki. Slides out. CleanX can't quite find him. And now he's in a little bit of a danger zone here. No running on the pool deck. And that's why Purge able to find the kill. Insight for the trade, but how do you break down the rest of this post plant, especially with Snoopy behind you?
Great plays there from Boston. Back up by 1, and back to the defense they go.
Oh, and Purge is going to find first blood, sitting a little bit more aggressively with help from Spart initially to try to get some opening AR shots over through ring, but Purge will be traded. So we'll go to the early 3v3, and Joe Deceived has already reclaimed space over at A. And now needs to make a decision come through in terms of, are we waiting to see if we can get someone rotating on the defense, or are we going to try to get this bomb planted instead of post plant at Laundry?
Yeah, they've had info on 2 players so far. A stun connects onto the guy back Laundry, and then Insight throws a shoulder through mid-zig. So try to isolate this player potentially to use your advantage. But time is still ticking, and now the only info you have is they're aggressive through mid.
Well, shots are good. Kips, wow, turns that into a second. He's now 5 and 2, 3 in a row. And Nasty, the last one left, will have to try to work this 1v2 with the bomb down. So maybe a chance to cover over the top of that, but gets stuck over towards Art, has to back away. That's enough space for Kips to hold the angle and allow Insight to pick up the bomb and plant. So now it's going to be reset. Although, Nasty's couple of shots, maybe if he can isolate, he'll put some pressure onto Insight, but instead we go to the 42nd 1v2.
Yeah, no nade in the back pocket to potentially make this easier, but the repositioning might work out because he's not going to be spotted off the rotation. So now time is ticking. Both players from Koi Just want to push out one way and guarantee one side of the map.
Yep, and with the bomb planted, you figure it's set up for this window position. Kips is now seen Nasty, and a full rewrap for Insight in case this starts to get a little bit tight. So, I mean, there's just no way that Nasty would predict this, even if he wins this gunfight here. Insight, yeah, he's behind him, and there's not going to be enough time for Nasty to make a play for the defuse.
McCoy, let's just start getting some first bloods, because it's 4-0 in that tally right now.
Yeah. Now Snoopy aggressive over to pillars. Tagged, seen. Different look here for Toronto as there are 3 players stacked over towards Laundry, and the island man of Kips gives you first blood. Snoopy looking to isolate and go quickly. He's got Nasty watching his cutout window, but Insight sniping this round. Watches that perfectly. The trade from Kleenex is good and leaves Spart on the other side of the map, left in a 1v3.
And they got the bomb down in towards B-ball as well. Insight's able to gather the information with a quick shoulder on the backside of Laundry. And now look what it does to all the Koi arrows. Everyone focus on this side of the map. Not going to give Smart keeps you on your toes. We saw the impact out of Snooper in that last series. When snipers are hitting, they make SMG's lives a living hell.
Yeah.
Ooh. So now in a man up, the round advantage for Koi. You gather early information that Snoopy's hitting super aggressive up through bed. So he's just going to guarantee this side of the map for his team. Everybody else should rotate towards A.
And you also saw the sniper glint of Nasty over towards the cutout. So if you're Toronto, you say, all right, we may have some aggression towards bedroom. We'll watch the flank and the water stairs, and we'll just go ahead and plant into a possible 2v2 at A. Better than that, if you're Toronto, you get out with a really solid post-plant look, mostly knowing that Snoopy's trying to hit some sort of a flank. Just comes down to the timing of this play. Snoopy throwing shoulders. Here's the slide out. First battle goes the way of Joe DeSeeds with some help from friends. Nasty seeing that range over the top. Lots of damage, but no kills. Until finally Kip's able to convert. Purge traded. Last one left is the sniper of Nasty. Pistol battle will go the way of Nasty, though. That was...
Blood make these rounds look easy for Koi. 2-round advantage.
Yeah, this is a big round right here for Boston. Again, establishing that threat of the scope. How do they want to try to set themselves up? Same look, but with actually a 4th member to join the play at A. This is just some bully SnD. Toronto's nades over the top, though, do tech Nasty. That's your bomb carry. Slows them down. Purge, Snoopy, working on playing aggressively over towards Laundry side. They get baited out into the gunfight. There are 4 Toronto members here to try to fight this back, and they're going to find 2 by way of Joe DeSeeds. Spart on the corner, playing over on the ledge. Has help from Nasty initially. Spart able to turn to find 1. It's just out here
where the final guy is. Koi with 3 rounds in a row, now at game point.
Gonna keep Kips on the island towards bedroom. Uh-oh. Or not.
Man.
That happens, and that's enough for Boston to say, all right, well, we got the B side of the map now for free. Let's go ahead and just use that and force Toronto to have to put together a very tricky post plant. But wait a second. I was gonna say, if Insight can lock down this angle at Zig, even to get 1 would have been great, but Joe's going to commit for the plant, and he has picked his Alamo, sitting right on top of the rock ledge.
Okay, let's see if Boston are able to read this, because 4v2, we can't waste a lot of time trying to locate where these guys are. Someone needs to instantly hop to defuse, but when you take your time, you're just banking on someone off of a route, walking right into the pre-aim, and it's Spart able to locate Kleenex, and then Joe deceives in a 1v4 right on site, stood no chance. So Boston...
Yep, we've got this bottom side of the map at B completely open for us to use. So back to the offense. Same 3-1 split. This time Toronto doing something different. Purge, oh, he's in some trouble and realizes it, but can he get away? Trying to get the top bedroom. A couple of spam shots are there, and no, Purge has no room to work with. Boston a little bit advantageously able to get to A, but of course Toronto aware of this.
And now Toronto in the man-up advantage. Know that they guarantee have the advantage towards the backside of Laundry, so let's just do the same exact thing we did last go around, just play the trades.
And that's going to work out nicely. Last player left. Spart over the top, able to find 1. Gives them an extra lease on this 1v3, but is caught from behind. Nowhere to go there inside. So they're not going to just grab and go. They're going to look for the perfect setup and try to put you in the worst position possible. So we'll see how that unfolds, if at all, as you're going to get Boston receiving this first hit decently, but Joe's going to get to a position to get up top. Good help from Purge on the mid-cut to make sure there is no push through the setup of Boston, and things will reset after the opening battle. Inside,
your job is to just protect the EMP, keep it right in front of us. Teammates now off the respawn looking for openings. Kleenex is able to find 1. Inside does fall on top broken, but it's a battle for mid-connector. 2 players on both sides, and you keep on pinstripe, kill, feeding, trade.
Yeah, but now an opportunity to grab and try to swing the EMP over towards the mid-cut, but Insight perfectly in position, frontside couch to be able to stop that play from happening. Also gets a read that Boston is still here, allowing Kips to push forward, and now an opportunity for Toronto to go quickly, but Purge steps up into front behind you. A little bit of a swing back, Kips able to stay alive. Kleenex trying to work on mid, while everyone else for Toronto is over towards Dojo.
Oh, big kill from Nasty to understand who he's playing against. If they're trying to set up a play, usually one of the SMGs are going to be the lead blocker on the opposite side. So you watch the OE, find the opening kill, force Koi to slow on down, but Kips and Insight find two of their own. They have the possession in their bag, and they're just forcing Boston to be uncomfortable off the respawn.
Well, off the respawn, they are able to pick up some action through Dragon. Snoopy for one. Kips looking to just foot race this thing over to B. He gets the win versus Purge. That's going to be enough for him to score. That was the only defender in position. Snoopy was held a little bit further back through small, and that pistol win allows Toronto to get on the board first.
And now your lead blocker on opposite side, and Nasty was playing the reset, is going to fall. And there's pressure all over the map if you are Koi, so now you need to clutch up in some of these fights. Iron up, win a one-on-one, and it's Purge able to start it up, but Kips and Insight respond with two. Now you can go.
Yeah, they know that someone else is sitting on the outer edges. That's Spart who drops, Nasty gone, and you've got two front blockers making their way over towards this Dojo point at A. Snoopy, the last one standing, not quite able to get the pistol win versus Insight, who will score our second goal quickly for Toronto. And it's not getting much better here as Insight was trying to flip back over towards rooftop side. But now an opportunity for Boston to get a couple of kills and maybe a chance for them to grab and actually get an offense going.
Yeah, it's just tough, man, because over towards rooftops, you know how difficult it is to push your way through P2 to get yourself over towards A. And the one player you're relying on to hold your pack spawn did lose his one-on-one gunfight. So now everybody's sitting nice and comfy in towards couches. Cannot push forward, can't push backward. You're just trapped in this position. And now here comes Joe.
Yeah, perfect timing on the pinch. Purge will drop in Toronto. Quick to recover the EMP. Kleenex looking to go forward. Big win onto Snoopy. Puts pressure on this Boston defense towards B, which means Kips has got free space over through A. He finds the first. Understands there's a second nearby. Able to play off his own stun. And one more possibly behind that. Snoopy gets the win, but Joe gets the score. Hellstorm now earned for Toronto with under 2 minutes to play in the half and potentially a 4-0 start for Toronto.
Oh, Boston, every time they're going all spawn now, they have no idea what's going on. You're looking left, looking right. Are we thinking the play's going to be on this side? No, it's on the complete opposite. Koi are just dominating the possession. They are dominating how they're influencing the map. And with a minute and 30 left to go, Boston have yet to leave the spawn. This is tough to watch.
Yeah, it really is. It's been perfect, though, for Toronto, so find some majesty in that. Snoopy will drop. So again, another delayed setup here for Boston, trying to hang on defensively and give themselves a lifeline in this half. But now Spart drops, and Kips can have the freedom to make a route occur. EMP going to get picked up at mid, swung over through mid-cut, and Kips has cleared everything out already. They get the kill that they needed to, so now it's just not dealing with the defenders who are coming off spawn. Pistol win for Kleenex is decent, but Toronto cannot win out the secondary battle needed. Boston will have a chance to reset.
Can they finally have an opportunity to get that EMP past the 50-yard line? Because every single time they stop it, Toronto instantly there to keep them in their spawn. Another situation upon us. Two go down in favor of Toronto Koi. You find splits, but now it's Kleenex still in your spawn causing mayhem. Wins a one-on-one, almost gets the better of Nasty. But you will take this if you're Koi because you're up 3 with 35 to go.
Exactly, and Boston still cannot predict where these gunfights are coming from. A couple of just instant shotgun moments as Kleenex now top hole is going to be able to isolate some space to possibly still find a fourth score, but Spart able to shut that down. Boston still staying aggressive through mid. Drop a member there. Joe around the back. Big gunfight with Purge that he's just not quite able to track. But Kips in that space has gained the EMP and likely to see an extra 30 seconds for an opportunity for Koi.
And look at the way Koi is setting this up. Joe sees right off the respawn is going to hit the long route over towards roofs. So Boston are expecting a push over towards A, but now it's Joe as the lead blocker, only able to take down one. At least if you're Koi, you're the final chance of potentially adding another one here before the half. 20 seconds to go. Insight just looking for one-on-one gunfight and looking for the timing as well.
Yeah, a little bait and switch setup over towards mid. Keeps the pressure there. Snoopy down to about 1 HP. Defense has to rotate.
But a 4-0 halftime. Koi can currently do no wrong.
Nah, man, they are just, yep, I was going to say, dominating the time of possession is where I was going to go with that. I mean, Boston have had the EMP in hand once. And it was maybe for 15 seconds, it feels like. Toronto, first 2 eliminations go their way. Purge trying to keep his life at mid-cut, but he's been revealed by a stun and dealt with quickly by Joe. So Toronto once again moving forward up the map, keeping Boston pinned close to their spawn and possibly in their spawn as CleanX wins another one through couches.
And now you know there's at least one player left over here at steps. I'm going to use that stun grenade to try to slow him down, but Nasty knocked down to half HP. Clean up house for free. Koi got another one on the board. And they might have an opportunity again at a rally because you still have plays in the position that you want to be, but your lead blocker falls. Now CleanX, you got to slay.
Yeah, man, I don't want to play Toronto on this map. Nope. No, sir. 5-0 the count right now for Koi. Boston just cannot get anything set up. No chance to. A lot of 1v1 gunfights that continue to go the way of Toronto, keeping the numbers in their favor. Insight trying for a little grab and sneak out to mid. Not going to matter as CleanX has his trade. And the EMP will still stay down over front side 10. Good shots coming over towards the Godhead. Kips also drops over towards Hull. So maybe a moment here for Boston with numbers to start pushing up the map.
Yeah, but even if they get a moment, Jodeci still has a Hellstorm in the back pocket, and Insight still is not missing. I don't know what has happened to Jamie Insight. I don't know if it's the glasses switch up. Now he's starting to rock contacts, or definitely the roster change that has this guy being more comfortable on the map, but he is popping takeover in this series. Another phenomenal respawn, and still not a score for Boston.
Yep, and oh gosh, the Hellstorm does connect on the Spartan to couches. So now you can just sprint this thing forward.
I'm out of here.
Shouldn't be able to beat the defense, and he will. Snoopy not quite able to get there in time. 6-0 with a rooftop spawn coming up next for the EMP. Kip's already putting on some pressure through P2, holds down the trigger, not quite able to get 2. But still, enough to stop any sort of a transition for Boston, who continue to try to have to battle out of spawn.
Then I love this, because Koi, no, we're up 6-0. Everyone just stat pad a little bit, whip out an M15, and just play keep away at some points, because CleanX, even with an AR in hand, is still the aggressor on the map. Another 3 make it all 4 dead. Koi getting scored number 7, and Boston are literally in hell, Alan. They can't do nothing.
No, they are in the 7th ring of hell, my friend. Haven't won a gunfight in a while. Look at the streaks on Toronto. Insight, that's kill number 8 in a row, and he's just having fun. Oh my gosh. 27-12 from Insight. Kip's just trying to finish this with a clean 8-0. I don't know if we've seen that at all since Toronto did it week 1 versus Miami. So here's the Hellstorm. Insight's just trying to get a second flawless overload on the map for Toronto. And you know where Purge and Nasty are. Here comes the EMP forward. Joe deceives the rest of Toronto, looking to just force this thing in.
Now let's just keep on fighting at P2. We already know that we have the game locked in. Kips is finding kill after kill with the Jaeger, 2 in a row, looking for kill number 3. Might be potential to pick up the ace with all 4, but is instantly gonna get shut on down. Now Koi just gonna have a little bit of fun for a minute and a half.
Unbelievable. Joe staircase almost able to find Spart. But wow, what a display from Toronto. I mean, Boston just are not winning gunfights. Not the important ones, at least. CleanX now on your pitch. Oh my goodness, and the transition to isolate onto Snoopy. If the EMP was still there, it would have been scored, but it's reset back to mid with a minute on the clock.
Telling you, we're just stat padding right after this. Inside at 30 and 13, consistently working flank after flank, is gonna fall to the hands of Snoopy, and 3 go down for Boston. Might be an opportunity to at least get 1 on the board. But you run into a Kips, and he takes away all 3. 4 dead. Koi gonna look for score number 8.
Yes, they are. CleanX already on the transition over, has a nade in the back pocket. He's able to get the knife, but oh, not able to quite snap the toes. And Snoopy's double has Boston hanging on from being 8-0. Blade, or do they? Joe gets the final 1v2, and